Alright, my fellow stuck in the washing machine club enthusiasts, let's be completely honest. Who here amongst us wants Bethesda to make Fallout 5, Starfield 2, Elder Scrolls 6, or literally any game at this point? Any game at all. Not even Fallout 5 specifically here. Just raise your hands. If you want Bethesda to make an absolute mockery of a game that you love, raise your hands. Anyone? You, Timmy, no, not even Timmy, who is legally autistic in 2 countries, wants Bethesda to make Fallout 5. Or any other game, honestly. It's getting so bad that, by the way, I just want to say, I kind of feel like the grandfather of Bethesda bad, because how much I have absolutely ripped on Bethesda. I haven't checked how many Bethesda bad videos I have made, but I have made a lot, okay? I have 196 Starfield bad videos, which are technically kind of Bethesda bad videos, and Bethesda is not trailing along, okay? I love talking about how shit Bethesda is as a company. And it's not getting better. And at this point, I think everyone is slowly understanding and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel that it's better that these games just don't happen. Fallout New Vegas 2 hopefully is cancelled. But Fallout 5 hopefully cancelled. Elder Scrolls 6 hopefully cancelled. The best situation if you're a gamer at this point is that Bethesda does not make a single new game because you know that they're just going to make shit. You know it's going to be bad. You know it's gonna be literally a game with the modern isms and all of that stuff, and modern audience and all of that good stuff, and woefully bad, role playing. So at this point, most people are openly just saying, Bethesda, can you please not make a game? It is the worst situation I have seen in gaming for a long time, honestly. When people are literally coming together to beg a company to not make a game.
We're in the year of 2025 now, which makes it officially a decade since we last saw a main entry into the Fallout franchise. Fallout 4 was a game that largely divided fans and critics alike, but that being said, it sold incredibly well and maintains a
I like Fallout 4 better than 3. 3 is stupid. Prove me wrong. Pro tip, Fox says you're the chosen one and you have to die in that radiation chamber because reasons.
strong fan base. Now, if this was any other video game series, one would expect to have seen a sequel released not too far afterwards. After all, when something works, studios and developers tend to want to cash in on the hype. But for some reason, Bethesda went against this formula. We recently got some news, and I say news incredibly lightly as there's really not much. But we live in a world where this is the Bethesda norm. It took 7 years after Skyrim for us to just receive a trailer for the Elder Scrolls 6, and it's now been another 7 years since then. So news is rare.
Okay, listen. The last thing Bethesda did for Fallout was the HD texture pack drop because of the show, and it completely made the game unplayable in many ways. Nowadays, as far as I understand, by the way, there is a very good chance if you download Fallout 4 and you go with the Bethesda upgrade with it, that there is a pretty good high percent chance that your game's just gonna brick and you're not gonna be able to play it properly. There's gonna be stuttering and a lot of issues.
When it comes to Bethesda games, we have to take what we can get. Reports say multiple Fallout projects are in the works. On a recent Friends Per Second podcast episode, VGC's Jordan Midler claimed that the Fallout project that I'm sure you're all wanting is currently in development, as reported by Comic Book. This is among multiple Fallout projects in development. Midler clarifies that the game isn't far enough along to say anything like you're going to be playing this game anytime soon. That's the news. That's all we got. Naturally, we've seen many YouTubers go on to hypothesize what this could be. Rumors range from a Fallout New Vegas 2 all the way to a new entry, Fallout 5. Although it is fun to speculate, this video isn't about that. I'm not here to guess what they could be referring to, as there really isn't much info there to work with. But the only thing that we do know for sure is that it's not going to release anytime soon. It's going to be a long time before we see anything according to Midler, which is something I do believe. This video is to explain why we haven't seen a new Fallout game in over a decade, as well as why The Elder Scrolls 6 has taken so long to release, because I believe both of those are related. So, without dragging this on too long, let's get into this and find out why is Fallout 5 taking so long. A quick side note, if you are new here and you enjoy video game discussion, please consider subscribing. So, why has it taken so long for Bethesda to make a new Fallout game? Well, because they actually did make one. The problem: Fallout 76. For those not familiar, Fallout 76 is an MMO. It uses the same engine as
No. Let me actually tell you what Fallout 7. It's shit! Complete, in fact, shit.
Fallout 4, but it's entirely online. It is a different game.
It's bad in every single way possible. And don't you dare Fallout 76 fanboy. Write in the comments, oh no, it's actually really good if you just play it for 40 hours, a new game plus 7. No, it's bad. Relax.
Game for different people. This game released in 2018 to huge criticism, but since then, Bethesda have continued to patch, fix, and update the game. In 2025, it finds itself in a very healthy state. Okay, Av, so if you're saying...
Oh no, again with the cope. It's not in a healthy state. All of the game is bullshit. All of the game is completely boring.
Bethesda did make a new Fallout game, and it's continuing to get updates, then why don't fans just play that? Surely 76 is the...
Well, I'll tell you why fans don't play that, because everyone who says that it's good is coping. Okay, Fallout 76 Steam DB. Let's go check, okay? I am tired of these absolute lies about Fallout 76 being even a contender of being called the game, okay? Look at this. Fallout 76 on Steam launched with 73k player peak, almost. Not really, because the peak was here. This was the Fallout TV show. Okay, it was free week in the Fallout TV show and all of the things, okay? This is what happened. This was the biggest moment. But now, look, at this point, let's take, for example, this right here, you see? This is when Bethesda wanted to cancel Fallout 76, because it was not doing all that hot, okay? The player amount was dropping, it was bad. And then we get here. Now the player count is also, again, just fucking cratering like a rock back to the... It's gonna be cancelled amount. 5k players was unsustainable by Bethesda and Microsoft. And we're almost back there, okay? Now, the TV show did do a boost, and that boost lasted way longer than I honestly expected. Kind of surprised about that. But the game is fucked. The game is completely dead. And it's slowly dying yet again. Fallout 76 is done. No one likes it. No one plays it. Well, there are some people who play it. And even with those some people who play it, it still can't even get a proper above 70% positive review score. Even though all the people who are reviewing it now are, well, mindless drones, pretty much. It is very bad. It is sad, okay? Anyone who tells you 76 is a playable game is lying or coping.
The Fallout 5 that fans have always wanted, right? Well, no. You see, there are many different types of video game fans. Some love sports games, some love cozy games, some, like
Life is
myself,
Strange
love
was epic.
offline open world RPGs, and some love online MMOs. Now the main issue here is that Fallout 4 is an offline RPG, as was Fallout 3 before it, Fallout New Vegas. Every Fallout game has been like this, and Fallout 76 is an online MMO. These two types of games differ fundamentally in design, pacing, and player experience. Offline RPGs are typically story-driven, single-player adventures that focus on story depth, immersive world building, and personal choice. Players can explore at their own pace, shape their character's journey, and often they influence the game's outcome through meaningful decisions. In contrast, MMOs are built around persistent online worlds shared with thousands of players. These games prioritize community interaction, real-time events, and progression systems designed for long-term engagement. At their core, these two genres.
By the way, if you're wondering what's with the fishing thing, that was Fallout 76 recent big update. You can fish now. Yeah, it's as exciting as it sounds, I know.
Cater to different needs. One that offers a personal journey, and the other a shared adventure. Now, I have done videos on this in more depth if you want to check those out, but in short, they just appeal to two different audiences. Fallout 4 is a world you play through and shape however you want. You load in and load out at your convenience, and your experience is largely unique. It's your playthrough. Fallout 76 is entirely online, features repetitive content, daily events, login prizes, and a lot of social interaction. Now, just to emphasize, everyone has different taste, and neither set of fans has bad taste, just different taste. Now,
No, it's subjective. If you like 76, you have bad taste. If you unironically like Diablo 4, you have bad taste. If you think World of Warcraft retail story is good, you objectively have bad taste. If you think Starfield is good, you have objectively bad taste, okay? We're talking about gaming. The average person is always right about gaming, because this is not complicated. This is as simple as me like, me dislike. And the average player has spoken. Fallout 76 is shit. Fallout 4, it does have its minuses, but it's all in all still playable and good enough. That's how it is.
Gamers, we all dabble into different genres, right? But generally speaking, we have our preference. And as we've seen with previous entries from the Fallout franchise, fans of Fallout games like the offline RPG setup, as opposed to the MMOs. Rarely do these type of games cross over. It's very rare to find a gamer who loves the online experiences as much as the offline. They do exist, and shout out if you're one of those, but really, since Fallout 4 is an offline RPG, 76 will never directly take its spot. Fallout fans still want a Fallout 5 in a similar setup to the previous entries. The same thing happened with Elden Ring Night Rain.
Oh, by the way, actually, I forgot to mention this. Fallout 76 is not even Fallout anymore. Yes, if you haven't played this, you do not know this. But Fallout 76 is not more any longer about surviving the wastes, super mutants, and death claws. It's just not. Fallout 76 is full-on Lovecraft at this point. There's Mothman cultists, there's aliens, there's these mythical creatures. It's just not even Fallout. Fallout 76 is literally not even Fallout anymore. It's just Lovecraft at this point. There's a whole the whole game is permeated with the underlying Cthulhu mythos. Even the fishing expansion that I just mentioned, by the way, is tied to Cthulhu. Okay, and it's not in a good way. It's all fucking boring.
Fans didn't really enjoy that because it was a mandatory online game compared to the regular Elden Ring. In the last 24 hours of making this video, Fallout 4 had 11,586 daily players live. Fallout 76 had 8,036. So despite 76 being more modern, having more activities and updates, 4 still attracts more daily players despite being released a decade ago. And then if you've attended any of the last Fallout days, a day where Bethesda announces everything new about the series, it was basically an hour of news about Fallout 76. You could now have pets in the game. If you attended the recent Xbox Live showcase, fans were pleading for the Elder Scrolls 6 news, but instead, Bethesda solely focused on 76. You can now fish in that game. Essentially, it's as if Bethesda have forgotten they can make other games, and they only talk about Fallout 76. So much so,
because they sell power in 76, and people who are playing buy literally everything in Atomic, aka money shop.
that they didn't even give us news on their latest entry, Starfield. But why? Why only announce updates on a game that your main fan base don't really connect with? Well, money. Fallout 4 sold around 12 to 13 million copies, generating around 750 million in sales. Since it's an offline game, it's usually a one-off purchase. But in 76, the model is different. There are monthly memberships, microtransactions, seasonal passes, special furnishings.
And by the way, all the people who play this game actually hate this because they obviously know that they're getting milked. This is like Diablo 4, another $100 horse.
There is so much that you can spend money on, and it goes on forever. As a result, despite having a lower player count, the players the game does attract are spending more money than the average Bethesda fan. I met one guy on Fallout 76 and I saw him go and spend $500 in a single day on that game just to get the coolest, newest gear. That's insane. And the cost to make the stuff is different too. So to sell a game like Fallout 4, you have a huge upfront cost of developing the entire game, paying all of those staff, and then you've got the marketing. Whereas the cost to add in new gear in Fallout 76, well, it's pretty much next to nothing, and it takes no time. It's literally just adding a new outfit to a game. If 1,000 people buy that new outfit for $5, it's essentially pure profit. So on one hand, it takes years to make an offline game, and you have to hire hundreds of developers.
This is not true. This is fundamentally not true. The reason this is not true is, by the way, very simple. They wanted to cancel Fallout 76. It should have actually been canceled by this point because it did not have enough players for, the server maintenance and cost. Because they need to actually put in new shit into the game. If this is the problem with live services, people expect you to actually make new content for it. And if your content for Fallout 76 is going to be a fishing update, not that many people are going to care. And people are going to slowly leave. They are currently struggling to keep daily active users above 8 to 10k. And 5k is already unprofitable for the most part. So, that's it. This game is, again, Fallout 76 is on literally a already in a death spiral, technically. But how long will Bethesda keep it up at this point? I don't know, maybe 10 years at this point. A further 10 years, yes. Because, well, maybe a miracle happens and, again, something boosts it up to 70k players or something like that. Then it's magically worth it.
And have a whole team working on it just to get paid once when the game comes out. On the other hand, you can add new microtransactions to Fallout 76 all the time. One developer could knock out one in less than an hour, and the profit is 100%. Fortnite is an online game, and it's completely free to play. It doesn't cost you anything if you want to play it. It's made $40 billion since its release, solely on microtransactions. It's the reason why so many game publishers try to make the next huge online battle royale, because the money is incredible. Concord missed, but Overwatch hit. I mean, look at this. EA thinks Battlefield 6 will be as big as Fortnite as it sets 100 million player target. EA is allegedly spending a huge amount of money to ensure that Battlefield 6 is as popular, if not more so, than Call of Duty. These publishers are so...
Battlefield lost against Call of Duty, I don't even know how long ago. I mean, this seems kind of completely pointless, I'm not gonna lie.
So fixated on striking that gold because the amount of money is substantial. Single-player games just don't make as much, so it's fair to say that Fallout 76 is making a lot of money. But herein lies the problem. If Bethesda release a new Fallout title, it may break Fallout 76. The same happened after Skyrim. ZeniMax released The Elder Scrolls Online. The game snapped up the Morrowind, Oblivion and Skyrim fanbase. Some stayed and some bounced, but those that stayed, well, they paid. According to these articles, that game was driving $15 million in monthly revenue over the past 10 years. That's insane. The Elder Scrolls Online has the same model as Fallout 76. It has annual...
Again, the word revenue doesn't mean profit.
DLCs, membership passes, microtransactions, and loot boxes. It makes serious money, and I'm someone who owns every expansion. I've spent more money on that game than any other game, ever. But after Skyrim released in 2011, you would expect Bethesda would move straight on to The Elder Scrolls 6, due to the success of Skyrim. Same with Fallout 4. But they didn't. Why? Because they find themselves in a difficult situation in that a huge amount of Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76 players would leave immediately to play the newest installment. If The Elder Scrolls 6 released tomorrow, The Elder Scrolls Online would lose a huge amount of revenue. If Fallout 5 released tomorrow, 76 would lose a huge amount of revenue too. So if you're ZeniMax or Bethesda, what do? Well, you make a new IP. You make Starfield. Leave those two other MMOs cooking. Give the fans something new that won't impact the Elder Scrolls line.
So, I'm assuming most of you are currently thinking, yeah, this sounds kind of bullshit. This is how they think. This is actually really how they think. And yes, this is as stupid as we think. Because, obviously, this doesn't translate. Starfield, when it came out, it obviously completely shreked all the other fan bases because, well, chances are you're not just a Fallout fan, that you're a Bethesda game fan in general. So, Starfield coming out did take away from Elder Scrolls Online, did take away from Fallout 76. And that always happens.
Or Fallout 76's player count. Players didn't leave those games to play Starfield because they were completely different. This way, Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76 can safely remain the same. In fact, you would ramp it up. Case in point, The Elder Scrolls Online had a yearly model where they would release 2 new annual DLCs. They released these 2 installments every year since the game came out in 2014. The large installment would cost a full game price and the smaller one around $20. This happened every year. So this was the pattern until just last year when the studio announced that they were moving away from this model in order to focus energy elsewhere. In my opinion, I think that this is in anticipation of The Elder Scrolls 6. They ran wild with The Elder Scrolls Online, whilst Bethesda focused on Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and Starfield. And once Bethesda finished them and got serious about the next Elder Scrolls game, they're now starting to slow down the Elder Scrolls Online DLCs. So in other words, they milked it. I feel like right now Bethesda are in a similar position with Fallout 76, in that they know...
By the way, there's also a small thing that you need to consider. Is it worth keeping a small game like Elder Scrolls Online alive versus actually making the next big franchise? Obviously, the next big franchise should be winning. So this is also not even the full thinking behind these decision makings.
As soon as the next Fallout game releases, it could spell the end to the money printing machine that is Fallout 76. This is, in my opinion, the reason why it's taken so long for a Fallout 5 to be announced or released, and why they're not in a rush to make it. That being said, the fans have taken things into their own hands, and Fallout London, a game-sized mod for Fallout 4, released last year. It actually managed to get over 1 million downloads, which shows how large a demand there is for another offline Fallout game. That's insane when you consider 76 only gets around 8,000 live players a day. Although this new online business model certainly makes Bethesda and ZeniMax more money than ever, it does come with a few risks. One of the main ones is that another studio could come along and steal their spot. Like, if another studio could crack the Bethesda formula and make a game that had a similar setup that would be just as good, or if not better, it could steal a lot of the fans who are sat there waiting. For The Elder Scrolls 6, we've seen Kingdom Come Deliverance, Witcher 3, Tainted Grail, and many other games come out, which do appeal.
Tainted Grail is really good
to fans of The Elder Scrolls. With Fallout, we've seen games like Adamfall, Stalker 2, Cyberpunk, and a few others have come out in a similar type of design. If these games were just as good and offered just as much, Bethesda could lose their true fan base entirely, as they get tired of waiting. But as of writing this video, I would argue no one game has come out and stolen their spot. or filled that gap in the market yet. Fallout and The Elder Scrolls are still incredibly unique games with established lore. The second risk is that you fall behind.
I mean, that lore is getting worse and worse. Again, if you did not see the Fallout TV show, you don't know what's happening. But yeah, ghouls are these magical, invulnerable creatures that need to drink some kind of special piss-looking thing, otherwise they go feral. Yeah, that's a thing. Why was the world destroyed? Well, it wasn't China who launched the first nukes, as we previously knew. Turns out it's capitalism bad. Yes, the Fallout TV show establishes that the ultimate capitalism can be reached in the nuclear apocalypse or something like that. Don't ask me, okay? These people are insane.
Technologically, you get rusty, and I would definitely argue this has happened to Bethesda. Compared to Cyberpunk and other games of today, Starfield seems so dated. It seemed like a game that should have been released a decade ago. By not continuously honing your craft, releasing more games, you would expect to fall a little behind. I feel like this one is more true. And the final risk is that younger fans don't know who you are. I met a young man at a restaurant recently. We were talking about games. He was about 20 years old, and he told me that he loved open world RPGs. And I said, "Oh, you mean like Skyrim?"
Hell, like Stardew Valley.
He looked at me confused and said, "Never heard of that, but I do love Elden Ring and Cyberpunk." So time moves on, and Bethesda are losing their reputation. But anyway, the point is that by prioritizing these MMOs,
don't worry, there's people like me who are gonna keep Bethesda's reputation exactly where it needs to be, boys. Okay? Listen, that's a plan. Anyway, that was ABV Gaming. 10 out of 10. Bye!